You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
These are the 5 most unfair firings The Apprentice has ever seen. I'm Mark, and I'm going to guide you through the BBC Apprentices' most unjustified firings. Those that really took the biscuit when it came to Alan's reasonability. Here's number 5. In season 9, halfway through the series, we were treated to a lovely away day in London. With the candidates tasked to spend £5,000 on a corporate away day, a team building day for staff. The teams were told to focus on profit while ensuring a high quality business experience.
This is not some jolly. This is a business task.
The losing team, Evolve, decided they would do a school-based day of activities, including classic sports, a cupcake workshop.
I do classes in cupcake making, which is really similar to chocolate making.
And bizarrely, Rebecca, who ultimately would get fired, suggested they do a wine tasting workshop.
Whose idea was this wine tasting?
Rebecca.
This was her biggest mistake of the task. She was confined to the kitchen for most of the away day, only allowed out to run the wine tasting, which, to be fair, did not demonstrate her skills particularly well.
And it's to link in with your company, which is costing and quality, and that's why we've linked this in.
In the boardroom, it came down to profit minus refunds, and the client didn't feel there was enough business stuff in it, requesting a 25% refund.
But the client wanted a bit of a refund, actually, due to the almost entire lack of business sense.
Pushing their profit below the other team. Up until this point, Rebecca had shown herself to be a strong seller, and given the fundamental failure of this task was in tying the activities to supposed business activities, it would have made sense for the project manager to go.
You talk a good game.
Rebecca was absolutely not blameless, but her firing was completely unjustified. These firings have come across the full 19 series of The Apprentice, which we're working our way through. If you want to watch along, make sure you whack that subscribe button and check out the playlist in the description. Why has he got a jaunty crown?
She used to dive in and strangle him.
Yeah, well, don't say it with a jaunty voice.
Now, let's get on to number 4. Speaking of episodes that we've watched together, here's a ridiculous firing from season 18. In this task, the shopping channel task, which will come up again, Phil was tasked with finding the items to sell. Then he and Flo were placed into the directing booth by project manager Raj. Here, Phil completely refused to participate in any decision on pricing, leaving the responsibility solely to Flo.
Was saying, oh, well, no, it's your choice, whatever you think, so.
Come the end of the task, the other team won, and Alan sent Paul home for his high-quality telesales technique.
Paul, you go back to the house. Off you go, Paul.
Bring the remaining 4 back into the boardroom together. Raj, Flo, Phil, and Maura. Maura was fired because, well, she was complained about on the show, something that had never happened before.
I mean, you broke a record at this company, that they had complaints.
And ultimately, Alan decided that Raj should go for poor presenting and poor leadership, allowing Phil to get away with doing nothing of value for the entire task and having lost the 8 previous tasks.
I am stupid. I am stupid.
As a result, Phil is told he's going to be project manager next task, and if he loses, he'll go home. Of course, the next episode, the teams are rearranged, giving him a major edge. Now, if you thought that last one was unfair, you'll find the next one outrageous. This candidate was fired for finding a solution to a problem and then being redirected somewhere else. That's how unfair this firing was. Shazia was a candidate in series 4 of The Apprentice and is number 3 on our list. In this task, they were responsible for doing laundry for a mixture of corporate and domestic clients. The girls' team really struggled, starting by overpricing an offer for a hotel.
Normally costs the manager just £200.
By a factor of 10.
4999.
And then offering a whole load of laundry worth £50 for 15 quid.
Clean all my trousers, all my t-shirts, all my aprons for 15 quid.
They had a lot of laundry to deal with, most of which came in very late in the evening.
Can you carry that? It's quite heavy.
Shazia took the initiative, recognising they had a lot of different clients' laundry, and created the system of labelling, so they can actually return laundry that people have given them to the right people.
We've got it, and now we know that belongs to them.
Shazia was sent back to the house early to try and source some irons, and when the laundromat closed, the rest of the team didn't understand the labelling, confusing items, resulting in missing items, which ended up in fines.
We gave 15 to you yesterday and 13 of ours have come back.
But that didn't matter. Even if this was Shazia's fault, which it wasn't, the girls lost on income generation before fines were even taken into the equation. The project manager, Jenny, was nasty throughout, and a bad project manager, and brought back Lucinda, who Jenny had reduced to tears the night before.
Back to me in a minute when I'm finished.
Jenny deserved to go home, and Shazia's firing was one of the most egregious in Apprentice history.
You're fired.
If you're enjoying this video, make sure you hit the like button and share this video with your friend who has the hots for Sir Alan. In one of the best Apprentice episodes ever, the teams are tasked with finding 10 specific items that Alan requires at the lowest possible price. One item both teams are tasked with finding is a skeleton, with the specifications: full-sized anatomical skeleton with a minimum height of 150 centimeters. Nowhere in this specification does it mention material. That is important. We will come back to that. So our two teams head out around London to find their 10 items, including diamonds, a sink, some seeds. Felipe and Daniel are lucky enough to find a full-sized, build-it-yourself skeleton made out of paper. They were assured that it was anatomically correct.
Fully anatomical skeleton.
Yes. And it's reasonable to assume that when the specification said anatomical, they meant anatomically correct and medically accurate, not that it's made out of a specific material or had been pre-constructed. Unfortunately, come the boardroom, they are told the skeleton isn't acceptable. Fined, and this costs them the task. As a result, Felipe is brought back into the boardroom by Daniel, and Sir Alan fires him because...
That's a skeleton, that's what I meant.
Now, before we see the most outrageous, the most unfair, the most unjustified firing the Apprentice has ever seen, make sure you've hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the video. It's free and massively supports the channel. Now, number 1. The most unfair firing the Apprentice has ever seen comes from the very first season. Just getting used to being on TV, Sir Alan, as he was back then, decided to fire someone for no reason. Miriam was the project manager for the first ever TV shopping task and took the role of presenter, with her teammates selecting the products and doing the direction and production side. Tim, yes, that Tim,
critical times was very upsetting.
And Paul's strategy for selecting products was just to select things the other team wanted, which prompted the other team to negotiate with them, saying products that she didn't want in return for products that she did.
Well, once again,
They're the 3 I'd like.
and they're the free we want.
As a result, Tim, Paul and Miriam ended up with way too many products to show, and most of them were duds. Even the channel manager thought the products they selected were duds.
Products you've got, if you choose strategically and you demo well, then you could do okay.
Miriam did a universally lauded job of presenting, but the product choice cost them the task, with the other team just having a much stronger product lineup. Even worse, she had been having a good run up until this point, with 4 wins under her belt. Even Alan was impressed with her selling.
Miriam, I thought you were absolutely spectacular.
And after the fact, Alan admitted that firing Miriam was a mistake. That's how wrong this was, making Miriam's firing the most unfair in the history of The Apprentice.
Miriam, you're fired.
Let me know if there's a more unfair firing that I missed. You've been watching with Mark. Bye-bye.